Perfect. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
I asked Tiffany specifically to not do a formal introduction. Y'all have the paper, you know who I am, and we'll get into a little bit of everything else in a minute. But first, I want to tell you a story. I want to tell you about the time I stopped a train. I stopped a train, and in the process, I learned the value of excellent customer service. So, it was 1992, it was July, and it was hot. I was in Lawton, Oklahoma, which is where Fort Sill Army Base is. My husband was stationed there. And we had just bought our first home. Now, we were coming from overseas. We had been stationed in Germany, and we were pretty much still newlyweds. But in Germany at the time, back in 1992, or 87 actually when we went there, they had government housing. And government housing came with furniture. So we're newlyweds, we're stationed in Germany, we have an apartment, it has furniture, we didn't have to have anything. When we came back to the States, they had government housing, but it also had a long wait list. So what we had to do was either rent somewhere or buy a home. We decided that we were going to buy a home. So we did. We had no furniture, so what did we buy next? Furniture. Fortunately for us, the National Guard Armory had one of those big sales, you know, where all these different furniture places have big sales, and it's probably not the best furniture, but, you know, to give you an idea of age, I was 23 and my husband was 28. We weren't looking for top-of-the-line furniture. And did I mention he was in the Army? So we didn't have a lot of money, okay? So we had a new home, we had new furniture, and we had 2 small children. We did not have a lot of extra money. But we were happy. We had a home, everything was good. So it was a Friday morning, and as was my husband's usual routine, he gets up early to go to PT and go to work. And we only had one car, and I was a stay-at-home mom. So I was at home with the girls, and I was in the playroom. We were playing with Polly Pockets. Anybody familiar with Polly Pockets? Mm-hmm. Okay, well back in 1992, they only came in one size. Okay, they were 1 inch high, and they came in these really cute hard shell cases, and I would always have been a little OCD, so we always had fun keeping up with the Polly Pockets. But anyways, we're playing Polly Pockets, and we're in the playroom, it's getting close to lunchtime, and I noticed that it's feeling kind of warm. So I go out into the hallway and I check the thermostat. Now I had it set at about 73, 74, but the thermometer is saying it's 77 degrees. So I know something's not right because I can feel the inside unit blowing, but it's not blowing cool. So I walk through the kitchen, go out the back door, stick my head out to see if I could hear anything. And I don't, so I walk around the backyard, find the outside unit, it's not doing anything. Well, I'm not an air conditioner technician, so I just know it's not working. However, going back to the fact that it is 1992, we did not have cell phones, and where my husband worked, he was on a howitzer, which just think really large tank, and he was always in a bay. So that meant that in order, if I called him at work, someone was going to have to run to the bay and get him, and then he'd have to come back to the office. This was not an emergency. We can survive being a little warm, at least, you know, there's nothing serious. So we go through the day, and I guess it was about 3 o'clock, and I heard my husband pull up. And I knew I wasn't going to have to tell him that the air conditioner wasn't working, because when he opened the front door, he would feel that hot, stuffy air hit him, you know, like a lead anvil. So he opened the door, sure enough, he felt it. He came inside, and he called out to me. My husband's name is Joe. He said, "Lisa, how long has the air not been working?" So I told him the story, and he walked out back, much like I had done, and walked around it, and knowing my husband, he probably kicked it. And then he checked the fuse box to see if anything was tripped or anything looked out of place, and everything was good. So he came back inside the house, and he said, "I think we're going to have to call an air conditioner technician." So by this time, it's 3:30 on a Friday afternoon, all right? We start going through the phone book, because I'm new to this area, he's new to this area, and we don't know anyone, no family. What else do? You pull out the yellow pages. Google was not around yet. I'm dating myself, okay? So we start calling people, and it's Friday afternoon, so we get a lot of no answers, answering machines, voicemail still not here yet, and the people who did answer, told us that we would either have to wait till Monday, or if they came this afternoon or that weekend, that we would be charged extra for an after-hours visit. Now, as I said earlier, not a lot of money, so being charged extra was not an option. So we keep going. There are a few more people left to call. And finally, my husband's calling, and a man named Jack answers the phone. So Joe tells Jack what's going on. And Mr. Jack asked my husband where we lived. So he gave him our address. And Jack said, well, you know what? I'm on my way home from a job right now, and I would be happy to stop by and check to see what's going on with your unit. So the first thing my husband said, well, you know, that'd be great. Is there an extra service charge? Because, you know, other people have told us that there will be. Jack said, no, I'm on my way home. I'll be happy to do this for you. So my husband hangs up, Jack's on his way, and because my husband was field artillery, that was his MOS, he was gone a lot. So I was the person responsible for finances. So while my husband is, you know, happy that someone's coming, I am mentally going through my head, how much can I afford to pay this man? You know, please, dear Lord, just let us be low on Freon. Don't let this be anything serious. So I'm a little bit nervous, and my husband's just, you know, he's relieved somebody's coming. So Jack arrives, and him and my husband go out back to the air conditioner unit, and I stayed inside with the girls. And, you know, you know how if you will it, it will be? So in my mind, you know, it's only the Freon, it's only the Freon. About 20 minutes later, they come back inside. I hear them go sit down at the dining room table. And I walk in there, and I'm still being positive. Sat down at the table, and Mr. Jack looks at me. And the second he looks at me, I know I'm in trouble. It's not just the Freon. You know, you can just read it in their face. My stomach drops, so now my brain is going again. I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to get a job. The girls are going to go in daycare. How are we going to do this? We only have one car. You know, all these crazy thoughts that go through your head. Mr. Jack looks at me and he says, Mrs. Bradley, I'm sorry to tell you, but your air conditioner's gone. Okay, so he proceeds to tell me how the house that we lived in, the garage had been converted into a second living room, if you will, and the unit was a Trane. Now, has anybody here ever heard of Trane air conditioners? Does anybody know what the slogan for Trane is? Can you shout it out to me?
Can't stop the train.
Nothing stops a train. That is right. Nothing stops a train, but someone can. Right here. I stopped a train. So he told me it was a good unit, but it was just too small and too old for our house. So we had to buy, a new air conditioner unit. So now, like I said, I'm thinking what we're going to do, and I only had one question. And I'm sure that y'all can tell me what that one question was. How much? So I asked Mr. Jack how much the new air conditioner unit is going to be. So he looks at me and he looks at my husband. And he says, probably going to be about $5,000. He said, now that's not a Trane, they're more expensive. He said, but it's a good unit and it will work for you. Okay, well, $5,000 to this 23-year-old might as well have been $5 million, okay? I did not have that kind of, I didn't spend that much money for the whole house of furniture that I had. So I'm looking at my husband, and I mean, it didn't matter if I got a job or not. I just could not see paying $5,000. So I looked at my husband and I said, you know what, honey, there's no way. This is not going to work. We're just going to have to go buy fans because I can't see how we're going to make this work in our budget. So I said, unless you want to call our parents. Anybody around here married to a proud man? That was absolutely the worst thing I could have suggested. He looked at me, he said, we're adults. We bought this house. We're not doing it. So, okay. So my husband looked at Jack and he said, Mr. Jack, we really appreciate your coming out today, but we're not going to be able to do that. There's just no way. So Jack looked at me again, because by this time he figured out that I'm the one who does the finances. And he said, Mrs. Bradley, how much do you think you can afford? So I gave him a number that I had thought we could live with within our budget. And he took a pen and a piece of paper and he started figuring everything. He said, what if I finance the unit for you, Mrs. Bradley, and you pay me that monthly payment? I was flabbergasted. Who does that? I don't know Jack. Jack doesn't know me. Why is he doing this? So of course I'm looking at my husband because, you know, he's still a proud military man. And his first response was, you know, no, we couldn't let you do that, you don't know us, you know, we really appreciate it. And Jack looked at both of us and he said, you know what, I was in the military too. And I know what it's like to be on your own, small children, and not a lot of money. I want to do this for you. Please allow me to do this for you. That moment right there was a defining moment in my life, because all of a sudden, I knew what it meant to be on the receiving end of exceptional customer service. Now, we did. We financed through Mr. Jack, and I paid him off just as soon as I could. And I don't think he realized that not only did he get our business, but he got lots of business. Because if anybody ever asked me for an air conditioner technician, I called Mr. Jack, or I gave him his number. And if my garbage disposal broke, I called Jack, because maybe he didn't fix garbage disposals, but he might know someone who did, and if Mr. Jack recommended them to me, they would be all right. He came out that weekend and installed our air conditioner unit, never charged us 1 penny for the service call, just charged us for the air conditioner unit. That man was a hero in my book, and I never forgot it. And I try to practice that when I'm dealing with our patients in the office. Now, I'm not saying we're going to, you know, finance. I'm not talking about this. Is not about the financial portion. This is about going above and beyond for your patients. How would you like to be able to focus on the patient and worry less about those in-office distractions? And at the same time, increase your production. Wouldn't that be awesome? Wouldn't it be awesome if we weren't constantly worrying about our new patient numbers, if we were focusing on the patients that we had in our office and we were meeting production? My name is Lisa Marie Bradley, as most of you know. I'm an office manager for a general dentist in Hattiesburg. Yes, I'm still in office. In 2014, I had the distinct honor of being the American Association of Dental Office Managers Office Manager of the Year. Today, however, for you, I'm just a front desk lady. I'd like to talk to you this morning about what are going to be the tools of the front desk. But before I do that, I want to ask if we could, for everyone to get together in groups, maybe turn around, or groups of 2 or 3, and I want you to tell each other what you think are the top 3 distractions of the front office. Can you do that? We'll give you about 2 or 3 minutes to introduce yourselves and talk about what you feel are the top 3 distractions.